I thought we had seen all that we were going to see when it came to text messages and emails released in this Dominion lawsuit against Fox News. Again, a $1.6 billion lawsuit. But Matthew Gertz tweeted out some more apparently that have been revealed. And I want to go through a few of these. There are many. You should definitely go check out Matthew Gertz's Twitter account to see them. We can't cover all of them, but some of what has now been revealed. I don't know how these were still waiting in the wings with all of the lies and the I hate Trump stuff and everything, but take a look at some of this. So this is Suzanne Scott, I believe is the president of Fox News, some high up exec, yeah, I believe it's the president, says this has to stop now. This is coming right after the election. They do not mean the lies, by the way. This is bad business, okay? The audience is furious and we are just feeding them material, bad for business. So talking about fact checking, trying to be honest about what happened in the election, this is bad for business to do this. Our audience is furious at the truth being told to them, and that's going to hurt us. Goes on to say the audience feels like we crapped on and we have damaged their trust and belief in us. We lost 25K subs from Fox Nation. We can fix this, but we cannot smirk at our viewers any longer. Again, telling the truth is being presented as a smirk. And this is a top exec saying, the truth will lose us subscribers, so we cannot do that anymore. I feel like if you allowed Dominion to have written the emails, they could not have produced more damning materials than the top brass at Fox News was producing in the wake of the 2020 election. What do you think, Benny?
I mean, yeah, like, look, we all know the Republican base just craves detachment from reality. They crave the fantasy realm, right? And Fox News, as long as they're trying to present themselves as like a serious news organization, will always struggle to compete with the most deranged YouTubers out there. Like fundamentally at the end of the day, like that's the core problem with Fox News is they establish the premise that reality is optional. And then a huge chunk of their own audience was like, oh, reality is optional? Oh my God, I'm gonna go watch, I'm gonna go get moon pilled and think the moon landing is fake now. You know what I mean? Like, and they just go off on these like ridiculous tangents just into just complete nowhere land where they invent all this like just fantasy nonsense. And we're at the point now where like a core chunk of the Republican Party only want to hear like overt Nazi propaganda. Like let's be real about what it is. Like they're pushing great replacement theory, right? They're pushing blood libel. They're like pushing like all these like really old school anti-Semitism, right? And like the plethora of like connected conspiracy theories that are attached to it. That's what they want. That's what like a huge chunk of the Republican Party base wants. Fox News is moving in that direction. I mean, they've been doing it just with like dog whistles. It's just slightly less overt, but now they're even getting more overt. And just this disconnectedness from reality is just sort of like expanding because Fox News is trying to compete with like the most unhinged people that exist on like YouTube and Twitter and like all these other platforms.
Yeah, 100%. They have created a monster that they cannot control and have no interest trying to control. And that's really the bad thing. And look, the media, probably there's always been a case to be made, I guess, that maybe they were chasing viewers or whatever. I think there's a lot of things that have made it worse though. One is that it is way easier to know immediately exactly what people want to hear. And so if you are completely lacking in principles and you just are gonna deliver whatever will get people to clap for you, hand over money, all that, it is easier than it's ever been to know exactly what you need to say. I don't know, network shows back 40 years ago, it was probably a little bit more difficult. You had to do like a literal focus group or something. But now they know exactly what gets them pushback. If they say something honest, they get tweeted at instantly by people telling them that they're gonna go watch OAN instead. And the thing is, Fox, I don't think is wrong at all in their evaluation of the business effectiveness. If they had actually told the truth, they probably would be far smaller than they are today. But the issue is, if you do actually care about reality and what is actually gonna happen to America, then it is your obligation to push back anyway, to be willing to risk that it'll all fall apart because there's something more important than an audience, your actual principles, the thing that you're actually fighting for. Of course, Fox is not going to do that because at the end of the day, they're not actually fighting for any of the things that they talk about. They just want taxes to be low and for there not to be regulations. They don't actually care about any of the rest of this. So it's easy for them to jettison things that aren't actually values of theirs at the end of the day. I just hate it. But we have a little bit more. And this is Tucker Carlson's team. And this is where, man, Tucker could end up getting in some real trouble here. They were talking early on about having Mike Lindell on. And here are some of the messages they were sending back and forth. One person says, I see the news this morning that his Twitter has been suspended. I just wanted to flag all of this because is he someone we'd want to have on? Look at that naive soul working for Tucker Carlson. Someone says, Lindell seems to have really gone off the deep end. One person says he's definitely crazy, but this will be a big story today. So a proposed guest is definitely crazy, but it'll be a big story. I know there's concern about Lindell being a conspiracy theorist, but he's bailed us out loads of times when no one else would. They're talking about ad spending. He is a conspiracy theorist who's off the deep end, but he did make one of those pillow commercials. He's also been moving to Newsmax lately. Might be a good business move to signal that we wouldn't deserve him. They're literally saying we're gonna platform someone who's telling conspiracy theories and lies for business purposes. That's the entire thing behind Dominion's case. And they're just flat out saying it. And someone responds, yeah, I do see the point that more exposure of him also means more people dropping him potentially. And if no one is buying him, he loses money to be able to advertise with us. And then we lose our biggest advertiser. They're literally just saying all of the things. They're just saying them right out. This is gonna be a wild case. I
think, okay, my favorite part about all this though is what it reveals about, so like a lot of these Republican donors, right, that like spend all of their time just being hateful and stuff like that are like these like super like, wealthy individuals, are like people like Mike Lindell that are like dumping ad money into Fox News, right? The reason why so many of them are like so capable of devolving into these unhinged conspiracy theories, despite the fact that they themselves are very wealthy and powerful, is because like these text messages, they reveal pretty clearly that Mike Lindell has no friends. The people around Mike Lindell genuinely think that he is deeply unhinged. And like, they're like, wow, this person is very disconnected from reality. Obviously like not really in tune with the way the world is, not necessarily a pleasant person to be around. But he's got a lot of money and he's like put a lot of money into the show. So, like these people, like they don't have friends. They have people that are paid to be around them. And so it's easy for them to be conspiratorial because like, I mean, I get it. You can't trust anybody because they're just there for your money. Like, and so like, I don't know. I
don't know if you're a Succession fan, but it all feels like season 3 Kendall, like his team around him. Like none of these people actually believe any of this stuff about you. They're just paid to be there. Ugh. I want to read one of the before we close in this block. I just want to read one more message, and there's a little twist to this message. So first, though, the message is the Brain Room. That's their fact-checking org or whatever is going through this now. Janine dictated it to Tim. It's rife with conspiracy theories and BS, and it's yet another example why this woman should never be on live television. So Janine Pirro is doing this dictation that's rife with conspiracy theories, and it is proof she should never be on live TV. And the only thing more amazing than that message is that it was sent by Janine Pirro's executive producer. Your EP believes you should never be on live TV. That is amazing. She was later, by the way, promoted to co-host of the live television show The Five. After all of that, after your own EP tells the Fox execs, this person is out of their mind, they get a better job doing more live commentary.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.